So my group will be discussing model building and economics. So I'll be discussing the first topic, which is economist as a model builder, and the next topic will be discussed by Ghazi, and the third by Alejandra. So what is model building? Well, in economics, a model is a theoretical construct representing economic processes by a set of variables and a set of logical and or quantitative relations between them. So basically, the model in economics is used to interconnect and find out the relationships between the different quantities and from the different set of variables. Okay, so a little bit of brief history. So the model was distinguished as a way to measure economic growth. It was first used in the 18th century, which for the main use of learning the economics of insurance, and which from then on the model developed on its own. So economists as model builders. So us as economists, we need models to determine the different quantitative values, and economists need models to test their assumptions. And the reason why we need models to test our assumptions is because assumptions are the key for economists. And so the next part will be continued by Ghazi.
Hello, my name is Alejandra, and today I'll be presenting about the rational economic decision making and the assumption in economic model building. So the definition of this is basically it's a method to systematically select the best possible choice among others. So you're given a set of choices and you pick the best one to maximize the advantages of it and minimize the losses. So the decision made is based on reason and facts, and it also, yes, as I said before, it benefits the decision maker as much as possible. Basically, a business manager will engage in a series of a formal process of analysis to review and observe the possible outcomes before setting their eyes on their particular chosen choice. So, the rational choice theory is an economic principle that assumes humans make logical decisions that will give them the best possible outcome or highest amount of utility, and utility is an economic term that represents satisfaction or happiness of the consumer. This theory assumes that we all of us individuals try to maximize any sort of advantage we would get from a chosen decision, and this applies to any situation and therefore helps us minimize the losses. This theory is based on the idea that all humans, all individuals, base their thoughts and decisions on rational calculations and act rationally when doing so. They can also increase personal gain or profit. So an example of this is basically, you would go into like a coffee shop and then you want to buy caramel macchiato, which is basically like a latte with caramel syrup added on it. So let's say that itself costs 60,000, but if you get a normal latte and then you just ask them to add more extra caramel syrup, so usually a regular latte would cost 50,000 and then an extra syrup costs 6,000. So if you compare 56,000 to the 60,000, that's the caramel macchiato. Obviously, you would choose the cheaper option. You know, even if it's just like a 4,000 difference, that's like you still save money for yourself. So obviously, you choose the cheaper option. The process of this is there's 5. So the first one is to formulate a goal, and number 2 is to identify the criteria for making the decision. 3 is identifying the alternatives, because the person making the decision should also have full information of the alternatives, and it also assumes that they have the time and the ability and the resources to evaluate each of it, which is, again, it falls under the performing analysis. This is actually really in-depth. Like, they have to evaluate everything that goes into the decision they're making. And lastly is to make a final decision based on all their observations and research. And that is all for rational economic decision making. Thank you.